Hi, welcome to the MOBCAST. I'm David Lee Turner.
I'm Sam Staff.
I'm Josh Simmonds.
Hey!
We just recorded part of this and then were rather rudely interrupted by Josh, who refuses to watch Memento.
Not this Josh.
The housemate Josh.
Another Josh that refuses to watch Memento.
Yes.
Or Children and Men.
Yeah. So we've decided that every time we go through the names, I get a cheer.
And this is the second time we tried to record this episode now.
We're only a couple of minutes in, though, so we thought we'd do it nice and neat and start again. But we were talking about Facebook acquiring the Oculus Rift for $2 billion.
Yeah, so just to sum up quickly, Facebook had bought Oculus Rift for $2 billion.
Is it specifically Oculus Rift or is it the Oculus devs?
I think it's just the company.
What, as
the company,
not
not
a publisher?
Not specifically the Rift. It's just like their IP in general, whatever they're going to do with stuff. I'm not sure. This is where. That's alright.
Yeah, it's where we need the laptop.
Don't click on your laptop because it'll come out on the microphone. So Sam's got his.
Okay, but pretty much. Okay, well let Sam look that up while we're talking.
But I do have to say, like I said before, it's quite new to me. I knew about it, but like I said, it was just this is new information about Facebook actually acquiring it.
I don't know what that is.
Dave's wiring in his room is just a taped up piece of crap sticking out of the wall.
What is?
I just don't go near it.
I bet that was Jill's husband decided to try and fix something one weekend.
This is proper wiring.
Yeah. She'll probably charge me.
Jesus.
Can I just borrow this plug?
Yeah, Sam, why are you quickly looking up? Ready to give your quick opinion on this piece of news?
Like I said, it's new to me, and I think this is quite interesting, to be honest. You know, actually Facebook buying Oculus Rift, and like you said, I think are they actually going to be like a publisher? Like Sony.
I think
the
best thing they can do. I mean, obviously they want the money from it, they want the revenue, they want all that, and they want because it's going to be a big thing. I think it's possibly going to be the next kind of move in gaming. Like I still don't have, as we said last week, I still don't have an HD monitor. I don't even play in HD at the moment. I'm on my Xbox 360. I'm playing all the classic games on my Mac, but I mean, there's going to be a long time before I'm involved with what is now current gen.
Pretty much.
I'm like a previous gen gamer, and that's all I can afford. So I'm a long way away. So personally, for VR, it's just something way in the future. But I think that will be kind of the next kind of step. I wouldn't really want to every time I play a game have to sit there with a thing on my head.
Well, the point
that would do my nut in. I like to kind of lounge about and look and play and just enjoy myself, and I can still just turn and look somewhere else. Like if someone knocks on the door, you don't have to take a thing off your head, or someone walks into the room, you know they're there.
About that. Just turn around, you can't actually see them.
Yeah, like if you're playing Outlast or something, and your mate sat there just filming you shit yourself.
if I have one of those, if I have one of those back home, if I have one of those when I'm back home, my sister was using it. I probably would just constantly sneak into the room while she was playing it.
Yeah,
I think that would freak you out though, because you wouldn't.
Because you'd wear the headset, or and it's just like what?
I think you wouldn't be able to hear anything. Someone just tap you on the shoulder and you just shit your pants.
They go to bed with earplugs and bloody
the
face mask on.
Yeah,
like somebody walk in and just fuck about.
You
had no idea, and suddenly you crap yourself because somebody grabbed your hand or something whilst you're asleep.
Coming back to the original piece of news quickly. I don't mind Facebook buying it if they're just going to use it as a publishing. As publishers,
I'd rather they didn't do anything with it, just that they owned it.
Well,
they gave the rights out to other people to use
if they're gonna,
to do this kind of thing.
If they're going to integrate more social media into it, it's going to become less and less what it originally intended.
If I have to have a Facebook thing pop up on my fucking screen in front of my face when I'm playing,
I will would
lose my shit.
I mean, it's the same with how do you say? The iPhones, you know, when you play the games, like for example, Angry Birds. I'm not being funny. Whenever I open up Angry Birds, there's always a pop-up of another game. And you're like, I'm not interested, and it takes me ages to load it to get onto.
We're all of a mind that we all hate adverts.
Yes,
I can't stand advertising. Like it does my head in.
It's like with films on a DVD, you can skip them. You don't get them in games, thank God. Yeah. But I mean, having said that, you do get them on.
I bet Microsoft are trying.
You know, the apps. But with discs, with actual games, we haven't had that problem.
Imagine
I re-downloaded AdBlocker last week, and it's already blocked like 4,500 adverts.
Nice.
Mine's
just what it says on the counter.
Mine's blocked two ads right now.
Huh?
Mine's just blocked 2 ads right now.
Just this second.
Well, probably not just the second, but probably the only one
on that page. But it's IMDb. You don't get a huge amount on IMDb.
Where's the best place to
just type
Google,
in?
So
just Google it.
Yeah. Just
Google search.
just type in the basics. But what was I going to say? I think imagine if you were part of the Kickstarter for Oculus Rift now. You'd be pretty pissed off if it becomes a social media where.
Yeah, I don't see how social media and virtual reality need to be integrated. I said this. I wrote a status about it the other day, where I was saying that I didn't see the link between. I'm sorry, didn't see the link between social networking and virtual reality. And I was thinking the point where you are social networking and virtual reality, you need to just go outside. Because that's pretty much the same thing.
So I think fair enough. Like with Facebook, you can connect with your friends possibly. Maybe that might be one way. But I do agree. It's just a bit like, well,
you don't need it.
Yeah,
you don't need it. Facebook is like a page that you have open and that you check every now and then because you've got nothing else to do and you're bored and you're procrastinating. And it's useful to contact people and to do little groups of things. I mean, I'm in a bunch of different groups of different things. I'm in like a group, like a discussion group for gaming, a discussion group for writing and for music, and there's another one for kind of lyrical stuff. Which are great, but
I mainly use Facebook now just to keep in contact with just friends friends I don't usually see so much.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have a Facebook account.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the time I'm not really doing much. I'm not really making many status updates. I'm just usually just posting random shit.
Yeah. It's easy. It's just like an easy record of your life kind of thing, and it's just there. I
did like that little look back thing video they sent me recently.
I find it kind of because I have very few pictures of me recently on Facebook, and if they are, they're just kind of stupid things my brothers are taking of me, like on Christmas morning, looking like an absolute twat or something like that. And like they all came up, and I was like, oh.
But I appreciate I appreciate the thought of it though. I thought, that's nice.
Oh, that's nice. They've got a program that puts your pictures in a line on a video. Well done. Yeah. So what else? There's as we've got open here. There's The Rock.
Yeah,
the new
guy revealed to be playing Hercules. Well, I think it was revealed.
Another Hercules film as well.
So me and Josh just watched it. Have you seen it, Sam, as well?
The trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer. I have. I was told about there's another Hercules film, and then like I said, starring The Rock, and I was like, oh my god, there's already one.
So what's your
coming out?
What's your opinion on the trailer?
I think the trailer makes it look like it's going to be action packed and it's going to look awesome. The problem is, with the trailer, I don't know why they did this weird, over kind of dubbed narrative kind of weird thing going on, and then the whole kind of it was so cheesy, like who are you? And he's like, oh, Hercules. It's like, what the fuck is this? But it does look to be like visually, it looks awesome, and The Rock, he looks good. I mean, how old is he now? I don't know how old he is.
He's 40s, I think.
He's getting there, but to look the way he does and be able to play Hercules, he looks like he should be Hercules.
What kind of gets me about Hercules is I always thought Hercules is a pretty good concept to make for an interesting movie, and I've been looking back at like past Hercules-based movies over the decades, and there's been some pretty shitty Hercules movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hercules and the Captive Women.
Jesus.
Which came out open at the moment.
Which came out in 1961. Sounds like a title for a porno. Hercules and the Underworld.
The bondage there.
There's Hercules and the Underworld, which was like a TV movie that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
Hercules and the Haunted something. Shall I look it up everything?
Yeah. I mean, as we remember Hercules, we remember the animated Disney one, and we remember the one with who was it? Was it Sorbo? What's his name? The guy from Andromeda. Long brown hair.
And
that's him. And he did a bit of Xena, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a bit of Xena as well. That kind of thing, and that was all right for the time.
That was pretty cool.
But yeah, I've always thought Hercules would make for an interesting movie, but it seems to be shitty directors' canvases to make shitty movies.
I think they're sort of going for the whole, 300 feel to it. I mean, the whole epic sort of fighting, the battle scale, and I guess, I still need to see the trailer, but from the other trailer that saw the other Hercules film,
apparently that fucking crashed and burned.
I was going to say.
What's its rating? 4.3.
That's pretty bad.
That is pretty crap. I mean, what's his Metascore? 22 out of 100. Oh shit!
It's out in theaters.
Oh my god!
It's out in UK theaters in 2 days'
time. You got a 19 from Metacritic. Oh no, 19 critics. What? I don't know. I can't read this properly.
22.
I'm an idiot. It's
22
Metascore. Yeah, 22 of 100, which is really, really, really bad.
19 from Metacritic. Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I can't. Well, back to the trailer that came out recently. I can't imagine a film with Dwayne Johnson being a masterpiece, but
I don't think Hercules takes a lot of kind of in-depth and like super intelligent acting though. There's not so much subtlety in it. Hercules is fucking Hercules. And if you actually know the story, he was a bit of a dick at some point, didn't he? Was it him that impregnated 50 women in one night or something ridiculous?
Oh, yeah.
Was it Hercules? I can't remember. It's just like, oh my god.
We didn't see that in a Disney movie.
Yeah, they edited that out.
That's probably why Meg was so pissed off all the time.
But at the same time, though, I reckon. I mean, it could make for a fun. It could just make for a fun action flick like Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, that was enjoyable. Jason Momoa.
So
it was fun to watch. Like it was better than the fucking Scorpion King.
Yeah, I hope
that he doesn't do a repeat of that.
So I can't imagine this. I can't imagine this Hercules movie coming out. It's going to be the definitive Hercules movie, but it might make for a fun.
Will there ever
action
be a
flick.
definitive Hercules?
I think the closest thing we're going to get is a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was a cool movie.
It was good.
And the TV series.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
I mean, I did really like the movie when I was little. I did like the premise as well.
I think it's still good.
I mean,
it holds up.
Yeah, I did really like the premise as well of someone who used to be a god but was sort of not made a god at a young age and has kind of proved himself. I thought that was a pretty cool premise.
Didn't they have James Woods in that? Wasn't he Hades? Was it him? Hades. I'm sure he did. Oh,
I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, I don't know.
Oh, it's right there. We can probably just click on it here. Where's all the Hercules?
Which one? Where do you want?
Just Hercules animated. Disney Hercules.
Yeah.
Search it, dude.
It's got James Woods in it.
There it is.
So, yeah. I don't know if that... Did that work?
Clicked on it. Oh, it's loading. There we go.
Hercules, starring James Woods as Hades. Yes, you're right. Lord of the Underworld.
Yeah, he was great. I thought he was brilliant. He really carried the film, I think.
I'll just close all these.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One other trailer came out as well. I think this week the new X-Men trailer came out.
Ooh. Oh, I haven't seen the second one. Was it Days of Future Past or something, isn't it?
I only watched it once. I only watched it once, so it's not fresh in my head. But I don't want to really watch the trailer too much, so I don't want it to spoil too much for me.
Yeah, it looks interesting though. They've got the cast from both like X-Men things. They've got the First Class guys and the older, more modern ones, which is weird.
I mean, it does look like a really cool movie. It looks like it's going to be action packed. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. It's going to have any slow moments. I'm trying not to jump on the hype wagon for it at the moment though, because it's being hyped everywhere I look at the moment.
I hope it's as intelligent as it looks.
Yeah,
to be
because there's also been a history of comic book movies being hyped up throughout the year and not turning out to be as good as we hoped they would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm remaining ambitious for it. I'm being hopeful for it.
I hope it'll be interesting. It should be.
The only worry I've got is I know Bryan Singer made the original 2 X-Men movies, which were really good. Yeah. But he's not really done anything since then as good. So
what's he done since?
He made Valkyrie, which was okay.
Was that the weird Tom Cruise Nazi thing?
Yeah.
I never watched that. It never really grabbed me.
It was okay.
World War II film and things like that, and ideas around that. But
he made Superman Returns, Jack the Giant Slayer. That's all I remember.
I haven't watched that.
Oh God.
I told that wasn't very good. But I'm hopeful that he can do a good job though, because this was the guy that set the original bar for the X-Men universe.
Yeah. So I did enjoy the first couple.
So I have no doubt that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to find out.
Again, I haven't seen the trailer, or I probably saw the teaser trailer, and I thought they were looking pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I have seen those cool little pictures on Tumblr, and it's just basically there's you got the Michael Fassbender as Magneto.
Oh, the crossover one.
That's it, the crossover.
Really
but they're doing like the Xavier thing.
It's weird how their faces match.
It really is.
How does that work?
I mean, I remember when I watched First Class the first time. This is before I heard of Michael Fassbender, and when I was watching the movie, I was just thinking that's a young version of what's his name? Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen, yeah.
Sir Ian McKellen.
So I remember thinking at the time, that's just a younger version of him.
Yeah. And I've never been disappointed by a film with James McAvoy in it. Ever.
He's a good actor.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know, what was it? Wanted was a bit weird, but it was still good. I
Yeah.
mean, it had James McAvoy, Angelina Jolie,
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun flick kind of thing. You just kind of watch it. You're like, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean,
was-
he was also in Trance, which was. I mean, the premise of it was kind of nonsense, but it was still mind-bendingly entertaining.
Filth was a good fucking film that he was in. It's really good. It's basically just a coked up cop in Scotland. It's amazing. Like the story's just great, and like the acting's fantastic. And there's a lot. It's that whole kind of like break the fourth wall, kind of talk to the camera thing all the way through. It's fantastic. It's mental. Like it, you're just like, what? What is going on? But it's really good.
I have to say, The Last King of Scotland. He was
Yes,
in that.
yeah.
That was just
With Forrest
spectacular
Whitaker.
to watch.
So even
Yeah.
He was really good as you just sort of believed the situations he was in.
Mm.
It was just it's sort of surreal, but
Yeah,
at the same
yeah.
stage, like what?
Yeah. No, that was a really good song. I think wasn't he in a stage production of Hamlet or something? Remember, he was on Top Gear as a special guest or something, and he was growing like a beard for it or something like that. Was it Hamlet? I can't remember what it was. But he was growing a beard for his theatrical kind of role in some Shakespearean thing. I think it was he was in Hamlet. I don't know. I don't actually know that much about it. But I really wanted to go see it, whatever he was in, because
I know
he's good.
He did because he was in one of the Narnia films, like the first Narnia.
He was
film.
Mr. Tumnus
Yeah,
in the Narnia films.
and I think he had a. Did he have a bit of a beard?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was stick on.
No, it's,
His
yeah.
beard grows out like ginger. There's like a ginger, proper Scottish beard thing going on.
It was a bit mad to actually see him. Like that's James McAvoy. he was just there with his
with
hooves.
weird backwards legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I only ever watched the first of those films, the Narnia films. I think I tried to watch some of the sequels, but
I watched the
I'd never
first
got
one,
around
yeah.
to it. The sequels was just.
they had a problem. Their sequels didn't hold up as well as like the other franchises at the time.
I never read
like the Harry Potter books,
Yeah.
and Lord of the Rings
I know-
ones and all these kind of things. Just didn't hold up against them, even though the books
how
are
accurate.
much like they're fantastic. They're easily on par, if not
How accurate.
better in some ways, or maybe
How
not.
accurate-
But yeah.
How accurate is the first film to the original books? Because I only remember reading the book when I was very
I
little.
can't remember, to be honest.
Because I remember finding like the final act of the first Narnia film kind of weird because it turned into an action flick.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was
was
a
thinking,
bit.
I was thinking at the time, did that happen in the book again?
Because I don't remember having that in. Cause I can't remember when I read the book. I must have been in like year 6 or something. And I remember we were studying the original film as well of it. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I don't know where it was filmed. It might have been in the 70s or the 80s or something.
Oh, was that in the 80s where she
I think so.
was it just a girl though that went back?
No,
Or
it
am
was
I
the whole
thinking
thing.
of-
It was exactly the same story. It's a Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, but it was.
Oh, I'm
older.
thinking of another film where they go back to Oz. It wasn't.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, it
Oz
was like
the
a sequel to the Wizard of Oz.
Oz
and
the
there's
Great
one
and
where
Powerful.
they just
No,
they're
that
on
was
this
more
bed
recent.
that spins around and it's like.
Oh dear.
I haven't heard of
It was a
that.
good film, pretty
Yeah.
creepy, but it was just like it was like a darker version of Wizard of Oz. It was the sequel, but it was just
It's getting confusing.
yeah.
There's so many weird things that I like. Say like there was the Alice in Wonderland that came out a few years ago, which was kind of a sequel, kind of what, kind of not, kind of what. It was the Jabberwock, but it was through the Looking Glass. It was just I wasn't quite sure where it was going. I enjoyed it because it was fun, but it was just like what the fuck is happening now?
I don't think I've seen that.
Really not?
New Alice.
It was alright. I saw it in the cinema when it came out. My girlfriend wanted to go see it, and it was entertaining. But it was just a bit strange. I seem to remember.
Did it have Stephen Fry as the cat?
Yes, it had Stephen Fry as the cat. It had Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter.
Oh yes.
It had that woman who's on those bingo adverts, but used to be in some soap opera as this little weasel. It had Helena Bonham Carter as the Red Queen, who had a giant head. Who else was in it? That's all I can think of at the moment.
Oh, who was the Is it Tweedledee?
Oh, it was Matt Lucas.
Matt Lucas.
Says Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah.
Just a bit odd. I'm not usually. Oh, and they had Alan Rickman as the caterpillar,
Oh, brilliant!
which was great. He was the voice of the caterpillar.
I'm sold.
Yeah. That was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable film. It was a bit weird. It was on, I think, on Christmas Day. I think I watched it again on Christmas Day, or was it Boxing Day? Obviously recently, last Christmas. But yeah, no, you should watch that. There we go. Watch Alice in Wonderland if you're bored.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Have a look at it.
Josh Simmonds,
I'll
2014.
try and watch it. Try and watch it when
Yeah.
Easter.
So I haven't watched any films recently. I haven't really watched any TV recently either, besides Black Sails, which finished the other week.
Alright, so let's get your opinions on that quickly then.
It's fucking incredible.
Okay.
Black Sails is one of the best TV shows I've ever watched.
Really?
Like, I love it.
That's far.
Yeah.
That's good.
Much. That's how much I like it.
As good as Game of Thrones?
Different, but I think it's not quite as massively in like so many stories at once, but it is pretty bloody good.
I'll have to watch it now.
It's based on pirates in Nassau. I can't remember where Nassau is. Somewhere in the sea.
The theme song's pretty freaking awesome.
Yes,
When you said it, I was like, yeah, that's just
it's
awesome.
so good. It really kind of sets it up.
Yeah.
I watched a short documentary on the writing of the music, and they use very kind of there's basically like 3 or 4 musicians just sat in a room. And they use really authentic, weird instruments and stuff to do it, and like slightly out of tune stuff, and like playing things wrong as if like they kind of learnt on the seat. But really good, really well done. But the story, like the show itself, is great. It's obviously got a good budget. It's made by Stars, who made Spartacus.
Okay.
Spartacus was the first season was great. I watched all of the first season, thought it was fantastic, and unfortunately, the lead actor, I can't remember his name now, he died at the end of the first season. I think he did some voiceovers for like a spin-off season whilst he was ill, because they were kind of like they were going to wait until he, see if he got better before they start filming the second season. But he passed away. But then they decided to continue the series with a new actor. And I think it was okay, but I just lost interest completely. Just completely lost interest. And it just kind of got really weird. I don't know if they did it in the first season, I just didn't notice it, but they started to really kind of Latinize the way they'd speak. They removed conjunctives and stuff, like you didn't get the word "and" or any of this kind of stuff, and it was really weird hearing them speak. And like they just kind of like they were just saying words, and you had to kind of like translate what they were saying as it went through. Like, what the fuck is going on?
So did you say they recast the main actor then?
Yeah. But the weird thing is the main actor looks a little bit like my little brother, so it got a bit weird.
I can understand that feeling of recasting someone and getting put off a series, because it pretty much means you have to get reinvested in that character again.
Because I really like the previous actor, because I'd seen him in a film, I think it was called Gabriel, which was kind of a low budget thing, but it was quite good somehow. It was weird, kind of dystopian, kind of weird post-apocalyptic. It was just weird, but it was good, but like strange at the same time. But it was enjoyable, and I was really kind of like, this guy is actually a fairly good actor, and now he's got this role in this TV show. He's going to go places because he's getting better and better and better, and this show's awesome. And then obviously he passed away very sadly, but I just ended up losing interest in the show.
Game of Thrones has recast someone recently, haven't they, as well?
Who did they recast?
They recast Dario Naharis for the 4th season, and I'm a bit worried about that, because I'm thinking, is this cousin going to have to like try and win me all over
I'm
again?
trying to remember who Dario Naharis was.
He's how do I do this without spoiling it to Sam? He's in Daenerys' storyline.
Yeah, I guess that. What city? Like what?
He's like, I think he's commander of the Second Sons.
Oh, he was only in it a little bit in the 3rd season, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was pretty good actor though.
Yeah.
But like the actor they've used to recast him looks nothing like him now. He's a completely different person.
No. Well, I'm sure it'll be right, because I mean he was only in like 2 or 3 scenes.
Yeah.
I mean he got to have a nude scene with Daenerys, so I mean surely the actor's happy. you can retire a happy man.
He got his money's worth.
Well, he got paid for it as well. Like it didn't cost him anything.
Yeah.
Who was
Think of
that?
worse jobs.
Yeah.
Who was that guy in the second series of Game of Thrones that helped? Is it Anya? No,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jake and Hagar.
Yeah.
God, I'm nerdy.
He was
We all know
freaking awesome, but then he's changed his face. It's just
yeah,
like,
'cause he's one of those faceless.
Yeah, they can do.
That's their thing.
I know, they can recast him as much as they want.
yeah, but I was just like, oh, but that bloke was pretty awesome. I mean, I understand the actor.
He does that in the books as well, so
There was confusing, like the book version, like obviously the original way that the kind of story pans out is a bit more, is more kind of convoluted than the TV show, more confusing. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but it was just I was just sat there like baffled, like what's going on? It was some weird kind of
the books
things were different to the TV show. Obviously, it was one of those things, the discrepancies, and I know that they do different things with it.
There was
I was just really confused by the book version.
there was an action sequence in Harrenhal towards the end of the 2nd book that didn't make it to the TV series because of big budget reasons.
Yeah, something to do with I don't know. It was weird. I think it panned out. I think Arya's story a bit better to make it fit with the next bit without driving it too far along the storyline.
It went for less is more approach.
Yeah, but it was enjoyable. I quite enjoyed it.
I liked it.
I loved it. I thought it was pretty awesome the way she escaped, and this guy that was helping her was just a bit mysterious and a bit like whoa, what the fuck?
Because
all men must die. Cheers, love.
Every Game of Thrones fan is like saying that on set at the moment.
Yeah,
All
it's
men
just
must
like,
die.
chill out, guys. Chill out.
It's such a nice way of looking at life.
Yeah, so optimistic. But then again, it's quite hard to be optimistic in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You're not quite sure how long you've got.
Pretty much.
Yeah, just enjoy it whilst you can.
We're not very likely you're going to die as a badass.
I'm trying to think, TV shows wise as well. Also, I don't know if I said this last week, but I watched the whole first season, and I'm up to date on the second season of Vikings. I've been telling people to watch that. That's really good. It's got Travis Fimmel, something. The guy from Sons of Anarchy in it.
Oh, okay.
I
think I know.
Catherine Winnick, I can't remember what she's in, but I recognise her face. It's really, really, really bloody good. There's a character called Floki who's just fucking incredible. He's so awesome. He's a proper he's a boat builder, but he's also he's this weird kind of. He's always a bit hunched in the neck, but he's very gangly and long. He's and he's fucking mental. He just has these weird giggling fits. And the actor, something Skarsgård, I can't remember his name. He's great. It's such a good show. It's really interesting, and it's all based around what is kind of a pseudo real story of this Viking guy called Ragnar Lothbrok or something, which basically means hairy trousers.
Hairy trousers,
because he wore hairy trousers or something to fight some snake and it couldn't bite him or something like that. I can't remember what the story was, but yeah, no, it's really good, and I think the history kind of says that Ragnar's sons went and basically conquered the majority. They were like the Viking conquerors was their army. So this is kind of setting all that up, and it's just great. It's really well done, and it's on the History Channel, I think, which was kind of weird for like a high budget, very well filmed drama series. But yeah, you need to watch that.
That's pretty awesome.
Really
if it's on the History Channel, it's we got Vikings.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I've got a few movies I've seen recently that I can talk about before we move on to games quickly if you want.
Yeah, you said you've been...
Yeah. Okay, well I've seen... funny enough, I've seen Memento this week. And that's actually the first time I've seen it, and good God, that's a mind bender. I mean, it doesn't... Have you seen it?
Yeah,
I can't remember, no.
you basically focus on this person who's got this sort of... brain damage problem, and he can only remember stuff for a couple of minutes before he forgets about it.
Yeah, he can literally just forget
it's not. He's not amnesia. He's not amnesia. He hasn't forgotten everything about himself. He remembers everything up to the sort of head injury. Then up until then, every couple of minutes he forgets everything again. It was back to when he first woke up from the head injury.
Sounds interesting.
Now, what they do in this movie, which is really cool, they don't show everything in the exact order. They show it almost from the end to the beginning, and each scene is basically the course of him sort of from square one, as if he's just woken up from his coma again, trying to figure out what's going on, to the end of the scene of him forgetting again.
And he's just because literally he's got notes to sort of remember some stuff, or not even that, just well, again, mementos. It's just little things just to sort of get him to remind him of some stuff.
Yeah.
That's by
and what he's got to do each day, but then sometimes that changes because it's
cool.
not in order.
It's extremely
cool though.
It's extremely complicated. It's extremely complicated. But what I like so much about it is it's quite forgiving in a way, because almost every scene is, like I said, the course of him sort of waking up, not knowing anything again, and dealt with the situation. So you pretty much almost each scene is like a contained story, and you only have to follow for those 5 minutes each scene. So it's almost very forgiving in a way. It's not like Inception, where the story gets bigger and bigger and bigger as the film goes on.
A bit more of a mind
and if you miss one tiny bit of dialogue, you're completely missed. It's much more forgiving that way. And even if there's one scene you miss in Memento, usually the next scene sort of links up to that previous scene to either explain things or just sort of remind you quickly of what that previous scene was summing up.
So it's like a complex film for people who you still have to explain the Matrix to.
Pretty much.
And there's so many people, I don't know why, people just don't understand it. Just think about what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. It does all unravel in a very neat way as well. It does. There is an overall mystery to the overall story it's building as well, which is really cool. So.
And then when you work out, and when you see the end, you're like, that's, and it's fucking epic.
So on top of all these scenes, you're getting that constantly like beginning one mystery and ending it, and then then the following scene happens before that previous scene you've just seen, which answers then a few questions of that scene. So you're constantly getting these new mysteries and constantly getting the payoffs every scene. So it's constantly giving you payoffs to keep you interested.
Keeps you interested as well. Keeps you intrigued. What's going to happen next?
It's not like your usual mystery formula where it's like one big mystery and it's just constantly teasing you throughout. It's constantly giving you payoffs and new mysteries.
Cool. I'll have to give it a try at some point. I've just remembered something else that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Another TV show I've been watching. I spent the weekend in Liverpool with my girlfriend, and she's really into American Horror Story at the moment.
Okay.
Oh,
right. We watched the whole the first season of American Horror Story, which was really good.
Yeah, it's something.
And it's all about being in like a haunted house, and the ghosts that have died, like the people who've died in the house, they go stay in the house, kind of thing. Okay. And it's quite a really like an intelligent kind of nice, dramatic kind of slightly horror story. It's not like massive. It's not scary, but it's good. And I really enjoyed the first season, so we thought, right, we'll watch the second season. We binged on that, and they've gone from being the main thing is the horror, the haunted house.
Yeah.
The second season, it's in an asylum in the 60s, run by the Catholic Church. They're in this. So you're in an asylum full of mental people. There's murderers and mental people. There's aliens. There's weird monsters. There's Nazi war criminals. There's just like serial killers, and what else is there? Demons. There's demonic possession. Just everything you think and put it into one. It's incredibly well done though. And what they do is it's a new story each season, but they take like the main actors from each season and they play different characters in each season.
Oh, that's quite clever.
Whereas in the first season, there's a character, I can't remember the actor's name, but he plays a character called Tate, who's like a late teens boy who died in the 90s after like going on one of those like school killing things and then gets shot by a policeman in his house and he dies. In the second season, he plays like a 60s like mechanic who gets abducted but also gets blamed for like the murder of like a load of people, and they think he's like a mass murderer and he's put in an insane asylum. And then when you're in an insane asylum in the 60s, you can't really fight your corner because everybody just thinks you're mental anyway. Also one character who's in it who plays his different roles very, very well is Zachary Quinto, who sees Spock and Siler and stuff. He's a good actor. Really fucking good in it. I won't tell you who he is in the second one because it kind of ruins it all for you if I tell you, but it's really good. I'm trying to think who else is in it. Franca Potente's in the second one for a bit. She was the woman from the Bourne films, like the first Bourne films. She plays Marie Kreutz or something, whatever her name is, I can't remember. She's in it, which is weird because I hadn't seen her since those films. I hadn't seen her in anything since the Bourne films. I was like, oh my god, it's her! But she does a good job. Joseph Fiennes is in the second series. He's the guy from Enemy at the Gates. Not Jude Law, but his friend.
Oh,
I know the Russian sniper film. Yeah, he's
he
the
gets
friend.
killed, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's always funny when you...
Oh yeah, sorry, spoiler.
Sorry, it's okay, I wasn't listening.
Who else is in it? The guy from Babe, the farmer from Babe is in it.
I was going to say if he was in it because I saw when I saw the trailer for the first season, I saw him in it, and then because was he in the house? No, sorry, the trailer for the second season.
He's in the second season. He's a doctor.
One of the doctors? That's it.
Yeah.
It's always really funny when you see an actor or an actress in the film you really like, and you think to yourself, what's that actor done since?
Yeah, you're like, where have they been?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a really interesting series and you need to watch it. I can't remember what the third one's about. The fourth season has just been announced and it's set in like a carnival kind of circus thing. So that sounds to be really good. But I've really enjoyed
creepy
the first
as well for a carnival.
Sorry. The first and second season I've really enjoyed. So I've yet to finish the second season. But
are there actually any genuinely scary moments?
There have been.
Yeah, because
I
do actually want to get into something really scary because there's not been many horror movies that have scared me recently.
Yeah. I know. I tend to. Horror movies are just B-movie ideas with A-movie budgets. I think I said that last week. These days, there's very few good horror movies.
Although a lot of people in this house said I'm more scare prone than most of them because apparently they thought Sixth Sense was scary when I said it wasn't.
Yeah.
I gave it to them saying, don't worry, it's not a horror movie.
Yeah, but I mean, like, almost every horror movie I hear about in the cinema is Paranormal Activity 8 or Insidious 12. It's like, just stop it. They're not
it's all
interesting anymore.
No, the
It's pretty
first,
much the
Insidious
same
was only
sort of
interesting for the
film.
first
It's like a
half of the
haunted
first
house.
film.
the first one,
Yeah.
the
With
first
a bunch
one,
of fucking ghosts.
the first one was
One
in-
gets transported back to his own dreams to find these fucking ghosts. So it's just,
It's like-
yeah, it's just like
the first half of that film was genuinely kind of like it build up suspense, and there was some bits where you're like, oh shit, you know, and you're watching it, you think this is good, and then it just go like, what? Why are they playing Little Timmy? What is going on? Oh, turn it off!
one of
It just got really bad.
There was one bit that was really creepy, which was the family. You know, when he goes back in the dream and there's this family, and they're fucking got horrible smiles. Absolutely. I thought that was the most creepiest bit, and you know, the complete darkness. But then all of a sudden, it was just like they found this room and there's this bloody devil. And like,
I mean,
The last horror film that scared me, I'm not sure if this was, I think it was called Antichrist, I'm not sure, it's got Willem Dafoe in it.
Oh.
And it's basically he's trying to help his wife who's got mental problems or something like that. And like their child had died or something. And they go out to like a cabin in the woods and kind of like try and just kind of get some time away from everything.
Yeah.
And she is fucking off the walls. Like, it's terrifying. like it's just there's this one scene I remember, like the character Willem Dafoe plays, he's walking around in like these like quite tall fern bushes. So it really stops, and it's like the sound engineering on it is incredible. Like, it's fucking creepy. Like, the whole thing is like, you're there just like, I don't want to watch any more of this.
You have to keep, yeah.
And with other people, I can't show bad face kind of thing. But there's this scene, he comes across a fox eating its own insides, and then the fox just looks up to him and goes, "Chaos friend." Like, it's like, what the fuck? And like his wife tries to cut part of her vagina off with scissors, and like beats him up. Like, it's fucking weird. There's this one scene where she's just like masturbating in a forest on the floor screaming. It's like, what is going on? It's the only film that scared me in a long time, and it's just...
where'd you find this movie again?
I don't know, it was just on telly. And I was watching the thing is, I was watching it with my girlfriend's family, just there like, just horrified looks on his faces, like, but nobody would change it. Just like, why are we still watching this? That's the last horror film that actually scared me. Besides that, I mean, there's all these fucking Saw films and all these kind of shit, like shock docs and found footage things. It's just
the first Saw and first Paranormal Activity, yeah, they were kind of scary, but then many sequels aren't going to get any better.
Yeah, they were like an interesting concept once.
Not
8 times.
What was kind of interesting about Saw was it didn't explain everything, which made it more scary. Well, in the sequels, they went out of their way to explain every single loose end.
No, they tried to make it into a story. It's just like, what Saw needs to be is that one mental film that everybody saw and everybody is scared of. The more you do, the less interesting the idea is.
And then when they got the CIA involved and like people that are working, in the CIA working for Saw, it just got absurdly stupid.
I know, it's just turn it off. It's just a gore fest. There's no, it's just prop mates having a bit of fun.
I mean,
pretty much, it's a prop film.
Doll in Saw, the Jigsaw doll, that was pretty.
In the first one,
but it was scary in the first film because they only ever showed him on tape, and I think they showed him once in actual person.
Yeah. But you see in the other films, like you just see the puppet,
while in like the sequels, like I said, they went out of their way to explain the origin of this puppet. I was thinking, thanks, I was getting interested there for a second.
I'm glad you ruined it for me. Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, I never really enjoyed the Saw film. Like the first one I watched, I was like, this is fucking scary. But then it just, after a while, you kind of get desensitized to that. Gory films aren't scary anymore. They make you squeamish. They make you just want to leave because you're like, I'm fed up seeing people's arms split into 5 pieces,
Gory films done right can be scary.
Yeah, they can be, but they need to have that level of suspense. Like, as we were saying didn't we say last week, we were talking about scary games, and that moment on Hard Rain where you have to chop a finger is way more terrifying than the whole of Dead Space.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly, because it's that tense moment of shit. I've got to do this to save my kid, and it is gruesome because it is just you're literally just cutting off the one bit.
Yeah, and you're like,
but then, like we said with the Dead Space, you're actually just amputating fucking ET. But you're loving it.
It makes it really easy. Everything's like, he's like,
I guess gore. Gore can be more tense than it can be scary. I mean,
it's weird because we're getting to the point where we can start to talk about gore on a tasteful level, which is a weird thing to apply to the idea of gore.
One film that did it in a very tense level was 127 Hours.
Yes.
which was when
What happened to
that was when like
the guy used to cut off his arm.
Philip DeFranco got his hand sort of trapped between this wall and this rock underneath these cliffs, and
It's a true story.
yeah. Shall I go ahead and spoil it? Or,
Yeah, because he cuts. Well, I read the story.
Well, the guy wrote the book, so
yeah.
you know.
Right, he eventually cuts off his arm. But,
using
but
a small
it's,
knife,
it's
wasn't
done,
it?
but it's done on a very sort of personal level. I mean, you're always the camera's always sort of up close with Philip DeFranco's face. I think you don't actually see much of him like breaking his arm and trying to cut it off. You just sort of get the tension of the situation, and it was actually quite. I just remember it was like a very gory scene, but somehow it was very nail-bitingly tense.
Who was the actor?
Philip DeFranco.
Philip. It was what?
James Franco.
James Franco. I was like, who's Philip DeFranco?
I don't know.
Philip DeFranco, eh?
I know he's got a younger brother who's in the Scrubs med school thing. I think it's him. Dave Franco. I don't know.
I'm looking at Philip DeFranco afterwards.
I
I know there is a.
Sam,
I know
Philip DeFranco?
I know there is a. I know there is a Philip DeFranco.
There's Philip DeFranco.
Well,
I know it's James Franco. I always thought it was.
Yeah. While Sam's searching quickly, there's one more topic I want to talk about in terms of movies.
Yep.
Right. As you know, a remake of RoboCop came out this year,
Yeah.
and the general reception I've seen from like reviewers, like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb is it's okay, but nothing special.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessary. Now, I did look at some of the comments on YouTube for like the trailers, and a lot of people are saying in the comment sections is it's unfair. Everyone's comparing it to the original and it should be judged on its own merit.
Right,
Yeah.
I found him.
Who's this guy?
He is a video blogger on YouTube, and he's a celebrity. There you go.
That's probably how I know.
And I guess somehow he chops his own arm off with a penknife.
That's how he's famous on YouTube.
He cuts his arms off on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's only done it
Then
twice.
grows
They did it once and
back.
then
Imagine submitting a video.
Huh?
Imagine how he submits a video now. Just
Yeah,
bang
just
it
with his
out.
face. Just
Ah.
talking about YouTube. There was something. Disney has bought a YouTube like umbrella company.
They brought Maker Studio, yeah.
Yeah. What?
I guess because Maker Studio is basically they're like I said, they're an umbrella company to all these YouTube channels, and basically what they do, they help promote these YouTube channels to become bigger, and they demand 40% of their ad revenue cut. So I guess Disney have pretty much bought the rights to Maker's company, so the 40% of ad revenue is going to Disney now.
Right.
It's pretty much just part of Disney's quest for world domination.
But it is a very interesting way. It's the biggest like purchase in terms of YouTube, like ever.
I guess.
And I think it's now Disney have recognised the potential for this market for YouTube channels and that kind of thing. I mean, obviously they just want to get hold of it, but it is a sign of the times that YouTube is now that much of a viable source of
they are becoming a business.
Media and income and publishing.
They are becoming a serious business. Yeah.
So do you think with Disney they might start uploading videos which we can obviously watch for free using this channel maybe?
I think part of Disney purchasing Makers as well is whenever an ad comes up on one of the YouTube videos now it's a Disney related ad. So.
Well, they just ad block. So many people like are pissed off. Like obviously, people who own companies that rely on the ad revenue and stuff. Obviously, there. But I mean, there's not that many people with ad block. So I don't know.
I do kind of want to ad block some YouTubers sometimes when all they ever do is complain about their fans. I mean, chill the fuck up. You're making a career out of playing video games.
Yeah, I know. I mean. It's not like the fucking bricklayers or something.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, you're not exactly going to get calluses on your hands from playing games. You could if you wrapped your controller in sandpaper.
I don't know. If I played the NES for a solid day, maybe.
Well, yeah, the NES you're playing with a brick anyway.
You're playing with.
Well, okay.
Play this game and we'll burn you.
Handles like a brick as well. But anyway, back to the RoboCop thing quickly, because I want to get your opinions on it. So, what I pretty much just said a few minutes ago was everyone's saying, yeah, it's an okay movie, but it doesn't really add anything new, and it's kind of unnecessary. But there's a lot of like fans that are coming out and saying they really like this movie, and it's unfair that it's being compared to the original. We should judge it on its own merit. So what's like both your opinions on this? I'll speak to Sam first because he seems eager to say something.
I think, me personally, I love the original, and I think fair enough they've done obviously a remake, well not a remake, but a reboot, and yeah, I think you have to sort of take it as its own merit. It's separate. It's not like a sequel. It is a reboot. So I think it is unfair to take to sort of compare it to the original. You can't help it because the original was fantastic, and there are people sort of questioning saying, "Oh, why reboot it?" The original's there, fantastic. Yeah, but then at the same stage.
The thing is, it needs to be exposed to a newer audience.
That's
the problem is, like kids today, they're not going to go and want to watch RoboCop because it's dated. We enjoy it on the nostalgic level. And we grew up watching it. We shouldn't have grown up watching it, but we did.
Yeah, we
like
did.
Terminator and stuff. We all watched it as a kid, but we shouldn't have. For some reason, there was Terminator toys.
My first ever.
It was like an adult franchise, and there was toys in it and stuff.
My first ever DVD I got was Die Hard.
My first. Oh no, I can't remember what DVD. I remember when I was about 8 or 9, I got Hard Target on video. Like the Jean-Claude Van Damme film, and there's a scene where a guy gets a crossbow bolt through his neck and stuff. And there's a weird scene where he's firing guns upside down with his little finger. I always remember that was really cool, but I don't have the strength of my little fingers to do that.
I mean, I grew up watching, the Die Hard series as a kid, and that was brutal. Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those, as well as RoboCop.
I know,
I know. RoboCop, like that first scene where he gets
blown to pieces.
That is like so
overkill. He has no hand left.
So overkill, so unnecessary.
But if anything, I found
it was still awesome.
If anything, I found I've become more violent conscious as I've gotten older. Because I remember there's a scene in like Die Hard 2 where this guy goes through a conveyor belt and gets like crushed.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time watching it, I was little thinking, "This is awesome." Then I watched it back and watched it recently and thought, "Holy shit, this is quite violent."
There's a scene in one of the James Bond films, I can't remember which one it is, but basically a guy gets fed through like a crusher, which they're using to crush cocaine or something.
Yes! Oh,
what the fuck's that about? I was like,
that is...
Is that the same one where the guy gets stuck in the depressurizer as well and his head pops?
Yeah, that's the same one, yeah.
I can't remember. I need to watch the Bond films again because some of them were so bad.
That is
apparently Roger Moore, every time he fires a gun, he blinks.
I see my target!
It's just like...
But on that simple scenes where he's shooting a gun while he's driving.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Like, I don't know. I always find Roger Moore is slightly creepy. And then towards the end of the films, his face starts to get a bit weird because he's had like surgeries. He's like all stretchy and like, oh.
You didn't always remind me of Barbie doll.
Huh?
You didn't always remind me of a Ken Barbie doll.
Yeah, I think what did I watch recently? I watched The Man with the Golden Gun with Christopher Lee as Scaramanga.
Yes.
But there's that scene
is that Scaramanga?
There's a scene where like he drives. Like he's chasing a car or something, and the car drives through a barn. Okay, goes in one end as a car and comes out the other side as a car with wings and flies off with a plane. What? And he has like a motor-powered what are they called? Those little like boats you get in like little city. I don't know.
Oh.
It's really weird. It's just really, really strange. There's this weird martial arts scene where he has to fight a guy. It's just like what?
Is that the same one where he goes? He drives his car, and basically there's like this weird sort of ramp, and literally he drives it. It does a flip, and then he lands.
It's like what is going on? It's just weird. I don't know if I never really enjoyed the Roger Moore ones.
They were okay.
Yeah,
Christopher Walken was quite cool. View to a Kill.
He was
Roger Moore.
Yeah, he was the villain in that, wasn't he?
Yeah. That one was weird, but it was quite awesome.
I didn't watch. I think I did watch that. I think I did watch that movie before I knew who Christopher Walken was.
Yeah. The problem is, I think some of the earlier Bond films, they're obviously from a different time now. We forget how far time has come on since those films came out, and like you watch it back and you're thinking, James Bond is meant to be this suave character, and like some of the later Pierce Brosnan films, he's a bit of a comedy character, and some of the other ones, he's kind of like he's a bit of a. He's meant to be smooth and kind of calm and collected, but he's just a bit of a lech, like sneaking into women's rooms and holding them at gunpoint and then just having sex with them in the shower. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
I was having this conversation with you yesterday. Remember how when we were little we used to watch these really shitty movies when we were little, but we weren't aware they were shitty until we went back to them when we were older. I was talking about I remember I have a huge nostalgic connection to Space Jam, so I remember watching it when I was very young. But I remember watching that film a few years ago thinking, This is actually quite a shit movie.
I remembered what film I used to think was amazing when I was a kid, but I grew up and it was a bit like, what? Dragonheart.
Oh God.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And the Kevin Costner Robin Hood.
Jesus.
With Morgan Freeman and Alan Rickman.
Oh my God, yes!
Do you remember those? They were fucking incredible.
They were.
Alan Rickman's in it, so I'll watch it.
It's good. It is good.
I
But my
love
God.
this.
I'll watch something with Alan Rickman in it.
It's me, Alan Rickman. I'm not very good with the voices. God.
This is Alan
No.
Rickman.
No movie's perfect. 10 out of 10.
Oh my God. Right, so what's next? We're going to get onto some gaming thoughts
Yes.
and ideas.
We've actually got the closest thing to new content. Sam's played The Walking Dead, Season 2.
Yes, I have. Oh my
You said
God.
something about it last week. Have you
I
got
did
much?
briefly,
But you
but
didn't.
I have to say, spoilers. Should I go spoilers? Maybe no. Not much. Not much. Spoilers.
I'm probably not going to get round to playing it. So.
Being as little spoiler as possible, there's an event at the end of Season 1 which leaves Clementine on her own.
Yes.
And now in Season 2, you're playing Clementine.
Pretty much. Well, but yeah, basically you're playing Clementine this time,
Yeah.
which is I think is fantastic. It sort of continues the relationship that you have with Clementine, except you're her now. And you start off with a bang. Basically, it's not sort of the safe, slow sort of pace. It's fast pace.
You get
I mean, that you do have
You begin-
quieter times, but I mean, it kicks off with a bang, and it's
in the
tense
opening-
as hell. They've really gone insane on this.
in the opening of Season 1, you were being trying to. A zombie was trying to kill you. How is that safe?
Well, no, it's. I mean, what I'm saying is, with Season 1, you've got that build up, and then all of a sudden shit happens. But they've actually got the shit happens right now, and you've got to deal with it. You've got to.
I guess
They're not afraid to do what they have to do in terms of what they do with characters, what's going to happen to them, what's going to happen to.
I guess
You don't know what's going to happen to them next, but at the same stage, they're just not afraid of what they're doing. They're taking all the risks, but they're given so much.
That's the thing with TV shows at the moment, and with games based on that kind of media, and obviously with Walking Dead comes from a comic book series, but Game of Thrones is so famous for it, but nobody is safe. Everybody is, in line to die at some point on almost every TV show possible.
But in this,
but
then you can do that wrong though, because it can be predictable.
Well, no, the problem with this isn't predictable.
Mm.
You're thinking
it's decision based as well, isn't it? So
That's
it's different depending on what you do.
You can.
I have to say there's this one bit. I won't spoil it, but all I have to say is what you made was what you thought was the right decision. You just end up.
It was the wrong decision.
You're stuck with it because you can't change it unless you do another playthrough. But even then,
I'll try and.
That's it. You're stuck with it, and it has such an impact, both emotionally and you're more intrigued. You get more into it, and they're not afraid to sort of put the shit in the fan. Basically, your mind's just going to blow.
If you want,
it's awesome.
If you want, Sam, I'll try and download the series sometime next term. We can go to spoiler talk.
Absolutely
we can do a spoiler talk on that if you want.
I think that'll be fantastic. So I do really want to talk so much more about it because I have to say, after playing the second episode, seeing new characters and seeing how the story is developing, my God, the writing's always been brilliant, but this, again, with the whole Game of Thrones, they're not afraid anymore. They're taking more risks and they're giving a reward for that. And it creates a so much more in-depth story. You get more closer to the characters, but at the same stage, you don't feel safe.
I think what a lot of people realise with Game of Thrones is what a traditional formula was in TV series was you have your main characters, which
the main character always makes it.
Which they regard as safe, and they bring in their secondary characters that they build up throughout the season, then kill off. And that formula has become very predictable now.
It's like the red sweaters in Star Trek. The guys in red were always going to die.
But now pretty much what Game of Thrones has now done is what they do is they have their main characters, they introduce their small characters, then they kill the main character and develop the small characters out of that event. And that's pitched you much more in a much bigger way then, because you weren't expecting this character that was pretty much holding all these other characters up together to die.
Sure be. Sorry, I had to bring that in.
And then what's really cool then is that all these smaller characters had less screen time until then start to develop more, and then they become main characters.
And so you invest more time into them, then you get more
Yeah.
And this is what's happening with the second season in the Walking Dead game. It's
kind of.
I mean, I'm really invested in, and I really can't wait for the third episode. It's going to be a while, but at the same stage,
Yeah.
I really want to know what the fuck's going on, because it's left me questioning. I don't want to spoil it. It's hard not to spoil it because I need.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like I said, I'll try and play the game sometime next term. We can do like a spoiler talk about it if you want.
Yeah, no, that'd be fantastic because, like I said, there's so much to talk about, and I really want to say it, but I won't. What I will say is, did I talk about The Wolf Among Us?
I think, we mentioned a bit last week because I was saying that I think the Wolf Among Us series is brilliant.
I have heard of there's one decision in that game where if you make the wrong decision, all these this group of people get killed, and apparently some looked it up when they were reviewing it and they were saying if they chose the opposite decision, all those people would have lived.
Yeah,
and that's something quite huge because that's
a big thing.
That really never happened in The Walking Dead season 1. You'd make decisions where you could either choose to kill this one character or not, or just say this one person instead of this other person. But in The Wolf Among Us and The Walking Dead season 2, it seems you can make these much huger decisions now.
The Wolf Among Us, much like the Walking Dead series that Telltale are doing, is based on the comics. It's based on a Fable series. And I just think the premise for the story idea is brilliant. And I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I haven't actually had a chance to play it myself. I've watched a lot of playthroughs through it. And then, you get involved with the story just by watching it. It's like watching a TV show with some guy chatting over the top.
But it's fantastic. The dialogue's brilliant. It works well. And obviously, you said you've been watching it. So I think that's quite interesting to sort of watch someone else play it and see what the decision they made. You sort of go, really? Have you got? But then you get more invested because you want to see what actually happens.
You're there shouting like, click that one, click. No.
That's more interesting, isn't it? Because you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, I do.
No, it's different if you get a chance to play it because you'd do it differently.
Yeah, I do definitely want to play season 2 because season 1 of Walking Dead has shown me how set in my old ways I am with games, because I'm a sort of gamer that's always thinking if I'm not shooting something in the next 5 minutes, I'm playing it wrong. but then Walking Dead has sort of shown me recently that you can have a good story in a game and get invested.
Yeah,
definitely. I will say that the whole action scenes, like I said last week, improved a lot better. But they do have an impact in the story as well in terms of decisions. So even though you sort of think, oh, it's just a brief 5 minutes of you just sort of shooting zombies, whatever. It's not actually the case. You're fighting towards something. You're actually doing a goal, and it does have an impact of what's going to happen next. So I mean, not like it wasn't like that in the first season, but in the first season it just felt like you were surviving.
Right.
With this, you're surviving, but because the whole situation you're in, you've got to make some decisions, and you're like, shit. Do you know what I mean? It's they're bringing more decision making in terms of the whole combat, and it works well. It's
stakes are high.
Yeah.
What else is there gaming wise? I mean, anybody heard anything this week about stuff? I mean, I watched a little bit thing about Alien Isolation, but I don't think it's much more than I said previously.
We've almost reached
confirming what we already thought.
I'm trying to.
We've almost reached an hour, by the way. If you want to wrap up in a few minutes.
Are we going to do a spoiler 10 minutes, or is there anything to spoil? Have we got anything we can ruin for people this week?
No, I was thinking.
Been playing Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, you were saying, I think.
That's been going really well. I've finally got... before I never got Zaid to be loyal to.
Oh, really?
But now I have. I've literally...
that's cool.
Fully maximised my Paragon. And I basically went, fuck you, I'm going to save the refinery. And basically... what happened was he was trying to kill the bloke he's been after to get his revenge, failed obviously, and then the thermal clip just exploded around him, and then he's stuck into this thing, and I was like, I'm going to leave you there to die unless you're loyal to me, and it's absolutely fucking awesome. And he's just like, oh great, can't you just help me? I was like, no. I'm just like, no, I got the gun to his head, and he's just like, fine, I'll be loyal to you, and that was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Because I want to see, because what happened was, oh no, I don't want to spoil it.
I played it.
It's the third one I'm on about.
Oh, the third. I think it was Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, I'm on about Mass Effect 2, but...
Go and spoil it. I'm not going to
go on, like, I mean...
I'm not going to remember it.
Okay,
I'm
well,
not going to get
basically,
around to playing it anytime soon.
You see Zaid again in Mass Effect 3, but depending on the situation, if you're loyal with him, if he's loyal with you or not, he either survives or dies in Mass Effect 3. I won't say how, but it's kind of...
And that happens with all the characters, though, doesn't it? Like, there is the possibility that everybody you've met so far dies.
Yeah, okay, granted, there is that.
All my friends are dead.
It is pretty much like that. You see them, and like in the third game, you see them, and you're like, oh yeah, it's great. And no, it's just like, that's it. It's only a few actually join you. Like I said about the whole... with the Krogan. Like,
Krogan, and Miranda and stuff, but you get Ashley back, but she looks completely different.
Yes, she looks different, and she's a complete whiny bitch. Jesus Christ, it makes me want to go back to the first one and kill her.
Yeah.
Because...
Instead of Caden. I don't know anybody who kept Caden alive.
I know, I kept Ashley alive.
Yeah, you're like, well, there's a bit of an interesting story there, so I'll keep her alive because I want to get that achievement.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Because, I mean, I like Caden.
I heard there was nudity in this game.
Love interest.
Sorry.
Then when Miranda came along,
but you
can't help with that hot piece of ass.
But you can have love interest with a man, though.
Yes, you could, with Caden.
What?
You can say,
yeah, you can do.
Really?
You can say.
So. There's a second one. I don't know
You
if
could choose to save the male and develop a romantic relationship with him.
Or with an alien, or... We could do it with anybody in the game. The game became like a space fuck sim. It got a bit weird.
Fuck your way to save the
became-
community.
I mean, I think you can hook up Joker and Edie, can't you, in the third one?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a fucking robot, and he's got brittle bones.
Sorry, when you said the Joker, a completely different image popped in my head.
That'd be weird.
No. It's like that. This animated show I'm watching is Archer.
Oh,
and basically,
yeah.
he's like the worst but best super spy.
He just fucks it all up and it works.
Yeah, he fucks it all up, but he fucks all the women as well, and it's just a bit like...
I watched the first episode, I think, of Archer. It's the one where he's in that torture chamber at the beginning. At least stick to it. His mum's like the head of the thing, isn't she?
Head of ISIS.
It's just like really weird. And like, oh yeah.
They're all alcoholics as well.
Yeah, everybody's just drunk all the time.
Is there anything else anyone wants to say before I wrap up?
I'm going to work on a jingle for this.
Okay.
An intro piece, so we can have something there.
Ooh,
awesome.
Jingle. That'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
So I've got Logic and stuff, and that's we'll do something. I know how to do it, so.
But you put the first episode up on the Facebook.
I will do. For people who are listening to this, maybe listening to this, could possibly listen to this at some point in the near future, or in the distant future. I run like a media thing called Lamestain, and we're hoping to publicise some of these things. Well, one every week on our Lamestain page.
I mean,
as a kind of a partnership kind of thing.
Yeah, me and Sam both going to post up on our Facebook profiles as well. Just
spread it out. Spread the word.
I'm just a bit embarrassed at the moment about advertising people listening to my stupid voice.
That's alright. I think this is going to be. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Interesting things are ahead.
I hope
Definitely. And Dave, get on Walking Dead, Jesus. Play the game. I need someone to talk to about because I'm just like... the only person I can talk to about it is Amber, and that's at uni.
Oh, yeah.
She's the only one who's been up to date.
I was surprised how much she's into gaming and stuff.
Yeah. It's absolutely, like, Mass Effect.
Because I hadn't started playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, like, for ages since I was talking to her about it, and I was crying with laughter playing that game. Unfortunately, my emulator doesn't seem to have a save function at the moment. Trying to work out what's going on with that, but it's it's hilarious. Oh my god, I played it as a kid, but I never got that far because I wasn't very good at it.
You know what? I tried to actually get it for the 64.
Yeah.
It's such a rare game. It's going for like over 100 in the hundreds.
If you get, I know 64's the emulator works on Mac. I think you probably get it for PC as well. You can download it.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. A couple of
I'll
months.
have to get it because I really love it.
Let's
anyway.
Next
week.
I don't want to edit more footage. Bye.
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 Bye.